Hey guys, and welcome back to the Hoops Lounge. We have a very special episode this week. We're looking back at the year that was the 2013-2014 NBA season. As always, myself, Sporting Phil, and my host, Mr. Mark.
So back in October, my man Moda said, "Don't sleep on the Knicks, don't sleep on the Knicks," and I responded, "No sleep till Brooklyn. Booyakasha."
Yeah, so basically what we've been doing is looking back at this whole year that was. There was a lot going on between the battles of KD, Durant, between the upcoming teams like the Charlotte Bobcats. There's just been so many storylines. But to start it all off, I think what we need to do is kick it all off with a recap of what we called at the beginning of the season.
Technology, man, looking back.
So let's see what almost a year-old Phil and Mark and Moda Hoops Loungers said about this season.
And so we've been covering what we have going in terms of teams against teams and championships, but we can get to the nitty-gritty and the juicy stuff now, individual season awards, and we're going to be held accountable to these picks. Let's throw a couple softballs out there, guys. We're talking maybe Coach of the Year. Mark, I'll throw this one to you. Coach of the Year, who's jumping up there as a chance to go home with the hardware?
Well, my honorable mention is Frank Vogel with the Pacers. Heck of a coach. He did a great job with a very young team that was not very deep. But, I like the first name Mark because it's a good first name. I'm going with Mark Jackson.
So just to be fair, your two Coach of the Years were the two teams that picked to the finals.
I know.
But Mark Jackson
and I wrote it down on paper, so it's not a lie. It's not a lie.
Well, yeah. So it's not going with what I'm saying, but technically it feels like you're right. So, Moda, Coach of the Year, who do you got going?
I think it's going to be Doc Rivers because he's going to bring so many adjustments to the Clippers. He's going to make them a defensive team first, not just a Lob City. It's not going to be Lob City anymore. He brings in that defensive mentality, so I'm going to go with Doc Rivers because he's going to definitely make that team better.
It's a good choice. I like that.
So is this the year that Doc Rivers can turn Blake Griffin from an offensive presence to an overall player? Or?
I think so. The overall, Blake Griffin is definitely a force, whether it's on defense and on the offensive end. However, he just needs to make those smart decisions around the basket, whether it's on the defensive end or on the offensive end. So it's just covering those picks or rotating to the basket and not just going for the dunk every time.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Mark's backup plan, Frank Vogel, just because I think, well, look, if I'm calling Indiana to make the finals, I kind of got to stick by my guns here.
Yeah.
I think Frank Vogel is going to pull a lot of upsets, and I think this is going to be a nice team to watch. All right, so we have the coaches in the bag. We'll have to revisit this once the regular season is over to hand out
right now
Lounge Awards to see which one of us actually knows our stuff. So second, let's go with Sixth Man of the Year. Sixth Man of the Year is always, some people sleep on this award, but a good sixth man means a lot to a team. So Moda, I'll start with you in this one. Who do you got for Sixth Man of the Year?
I'm debating actually because I know that Manu Ginobili got it a few years back, but I'm going to go with another international flavor here, and I'm going to go with Marco Bellinelli from the Spurs.
Ooh.
Yeah,
nice.
Because he's definitely brings in this offensive mentality, and the guy can guard a lot of people. I mean, last year when he was on the Chicago Bulls, he was guarding LeBron and he was guarding Dwayne Wade and he was guarding Mario Chalmers. So it was that rotation. He can guard and he can score baskets. It's just people underestimating him. So I really hope for him to get that six-man award.
All right, we'll see. So Mark, Sixth Man of the Year, who do you got going up?
Well, I mean, obviously, you don't know how long these guys are going to be staying on the bench. Rotations always change, but if things stay as they are, I'm picking Klay Thompson with Golden State. He could be scoring 15 a game off the bench.
I like that sneaky pick. I think Klay Thompson, it hurts me that he's not starting. I was kind of thinking Harrison Barnes would be the sixth man. We'll see what happens that way, just because he's a little more versatile. He can play some forward positions. There are a lot of guys. I'm actually going to go against what Moda said with Granger going out of town. I think they keep Granger for the whole year, and I'm a sneaky guy. I think he's going to be healthy. They're going to realize they're a better team starting Stevenson and Paul George, and Granger's the sixth man off the bench. I'm taking a big leap of faith on this one, but I think Danny Granger. I think that's how they sell him on going to the bench, how they sell him on having the defense in the starting rotation. I think Granger is the sixth man off the bench. So
interesting pick. Interesting pick.
So we'll go with we'll leave MVP to the last obviously. So rookie of the year. I know I'm a bit of a homer when it comes to the rooks. But who do you guys like? I mean, Anthony Bennett going #1 at Canadian, but he's obviously playing behind Tristan Thompson and a couple other guys. Who do you guys like coming out of this draft? Mark, will go for you this one.
Well, I interviewed the Rookie of the Year last week. He plays for Boston. His name's Kelly Olynyk, and he's a very smooth player. He knows the game well. He was a point guard in high school. His dad's a coach. He's a very high basketball IQ guy. Does the little things. I saw him grab a board over Kevin Love, threw an outlet past the half court. The guy scored. He does the little things. He can score, set picks, and he's just a very heady player. He's going to be a leader on that team that obviously is lacking a lot of talent. He's going to grow within that Celtics franchise. I could see him becoming an all-star within 2 to 3 years. So I'm picking Kelly Olynyk.
All right, and Mona, same question. Rookie of the year, who's making a big splash year one?
I'm going to go with a guy who reminds me of Russell Westbrook when he just first started, which is Victor Oladipo. The guy who he plays good defense. He was well known when he was in the NCAA. He was well known for his defensive mentality. He's not playing his position as a point guard at Orlando, but he will definitely make an impact, just like Russell Westbrook is doing. So I'm going with Victor Oladipo here.
All right, so that's interesting. So we got a high offensive potential with Mark's picking Kelly Olynyk and Victor Oladipo. Myself, this is a tough one, but see, I'm wanting to go a bit off the board, and I'm actually going to say, weirdly enough, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I think with all that front court scoring, they need a backcourt shooter, and he's lights out. There was a couple other guys who really maybe want to pick them out, like Ben McLemore of Sacramento. I think he's going to get a lot of shots, and Victor Oladipo would be my runner-up, but I think he's going to get lost a bit because he's playing behind guys like Nelson, and they have a couple more shooting guards. I think the two guys to really look out for in this year's draft are Michael Carter-Williams of the 76ers, just because the minutes. He's going to get huge minutes in the point guard position. And Pope out of Detroit. I mean, Chauncey Billups is not going to play starter minutes, and he's going to be needed at the one to back up their point guard. So I think Pope just averages that kind of 12, 14 points a game, but really becomes that legit starter on that team. So I know that one's a little bit out of left field. But okay, we'll end off here with the big gun, the MVP of the year. I mean, is there any way that we call this the not including LeBron James MVP? Because it seems like he's had its number for a couple of years now. Mark, I'll start with you. I mean, sorry about that. So, are we looking at LeBron James having some more hardware, or is someone taking his crown this year?
No. King James. No conversation. He's the best player on the planet.
Okay, and Mona, same question.
Same thing. There's no one in the league right now that can beat LeBron James in terms of numbers, defense, everything. LeBron James going to be MVP again.
For KD.
For this year.
All right. I'll see you there. But what would the other guys have to do? I mean, look at other guys who are kind of in the conversation. Carmelo Anthony, obviously. Russell Westbrook actually gets a few points, but Kevin Durant. I mean, if Kevin Durant comes out, especially with Westbrook missing a couple games, and just statistically, 50, 40, 90 in terms of shooting percentage, averages 32 points a game, just something. And this is all what he's capable of doing.
Wow, messed up.
If he comes up with this monster season, Thunder in the finals, like, is there anywhere that's enough, or does LeBron just have this wrapped up? I mean, is there a player you can see potentially what
32 points called that one,
him, or is it just LeBron time?
Well, my only response to that is that during Michael Jordan's prime, there was one year they gave it to Karl Malone, and Michael should have got it that year too. I mean, there may be a year or two here and there where someone else will get it, but I really think Durant is obviously, to me, the second best player in the league. But LeBron's just got something on everyone, and if he keeps playing the way he's playing, it's just not really a conversation for me.
Yeah. For me, I mean, Carmelo is is definitely for me is a contender. If he starts playing defense, he'll definitely be the MVP.
It's a big if, my friend.
It's
a big
years
no.
and years to see if this could happen.
Don't hate on my He's kind of my favorite player in the league right now, but he's definitely, if he picks up on defense, he's going to be out there. Kevin Durant, what he needs to do is basically just the difference between when LeBron is on the court and when Kevin Durant is on the court is that LeBron, when he's on the court, he just makes his entire team better, assists, defense, everything.
And about
Durant will
50
need
pounds of muscle, to be honest.
exactly, and Durant, everyone knows that offensively, he's just the best player in the league right now. Nobody can guard him with his wingspan and his height and his dribbling skills. But if he needs to become an MVP caliber player, he will need to start making his other teammates around him better. So assisting, defending better, and all of that.
And they both gone up
to
this
do that
year.
already in the preseason, right? We're seeing Durant play a lot of point forward, and when Westbrook comes back. So we're saying, am I going to disagree with you? No, because I think honestly, this is LeBron James's big finale there. I mean, we'll go more into this in future shows, but I think LeBron James kind of goes the whole way. So just to wrap up, are we looking at a similar thing? LeBron James MVP and the Miami Heat winning all the championship? Yay, nay?
Yes.
I hope not, but yeah, I think I think they'll win again. Burning of the soul, but win again.
Yeah, it's going to be a good season. And just last thought, what do you guys think of the reverting back? Just changed this week to the playoff format, 2-2.
Oh, I think that's enough for that for me.
Down.
I like going back and forth. I think having 3 games
Yeah, no kidding.
That was an eye opener.
Yeah, well, we were right on a few of them, but a couple didn't make sense. I'll admit I was a little wrong on the Caldwell Pope. I'll take my lumps for that. Although I was the only one to mention Carter Williams, so I think I think everyone slept on Trey Burke there, but Victor Oladipo it's funny because at the starting he was having a strong season, but then he kind of tapered off, and your guy actually at the starting was really suffering, Olenek. He actually had, 25 and 12
25 and 12, the first Celtics rookie since Paul Pierce to do that. So he's just a slow progress, that guy, but he's doing it. I guess we should just pick our awards as we see them now and kind of compare if you want to.
Yeah, well, maybe let's start with the kids there, with rookies. Who would you, after seeing the actual season, now pick?
I did not expect this at all. I mean, being a big Syracuse guy, but Michael Carter-Williams just came in. It's like he walked into this league knowing exactly what he needed to do, and
he also walked in the perfect situation where he's on a team where he's given the ball all the time, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's a good situation, but he's just such a talented player, and coming from a situation where at Syracuse he played a very different brand of basketball than Jim Boeheim, coming here and even the 2-3 zone and just being able to play man defense. He's very athletic. He feels like he fits in. He understands the NBA game very well. He's a very high basketball IQ guy, and he's a stat stuffer. This guy has like 2 or 3 triple doubles this year, and a couple other that were really close. Like last night he had like 21, 7, and 8. He does this type of thing, and he's a rookie. He's very poised. I like his game a lot, and he knows how to play NBA basketball.
I agree with you, and it hurts me to not say it, but just to stir the pot a bit, I'm going to say Burke with the Jazz.
Yeah.
I really like him, steady point guard, and I think I don't know, I think Carter Williams loses some points because they realize how much lack of talent they have.
Yeah.
Whereas with Burke, he does have Hayward, Cantor, all these guys who take away shots theoretically. So I think Burke, while he has more guys to pass to, he has to be a little more efficient because he won't have as many touches. So I think Burke, I think they're both great arguments. I could definitely see why you're going with Carter Williams, but I'm going to say Burke, just play devil's advocate, and I think he's going to get a little bit of a favorite. Okay, 6th Man of the Year award. So we had Moda going Bellinelli.
I went Klay Thompson, who was lights out the first few weeks, and then they brought him back
to
the starting lineup. So
kind of got screwed there, and who was my guy again? I'm forgetting now. The guy I picked for 6 men.
Oh, you picked Danny Granger.
Oh, yeah. Well, until he got traded, it was actually a great pick.
Yeah.
But then he got traded, and now he's terrible. So, I mean, like theoretically, if they'd stuck to their guns, I think I would have been in the lead for this. And technically, before they traded Danny Granger, they were the contender to be the #1 seed in the East and come out of the East. So theoretically, by Larry Bird going against my prediction, they then took the Bynum effect and started losing.
I was about to say Bynum effect, and it's ongoing, man. It's ongoing. My 6-man, I'm going to go with Manu. You know, I don't think the Spurs are going to get many awards, and he almost retired at the end of last season. You know, he had to do some soul searching in the summer, and he decided to come back. I know this month he hasn't really had the best stretch, but to be his age, he's 36 now, and still be playing that high caliber, being able to take that secondary role off the bench as a leader as well, I think it shows just how talented the guy is. And, you know, he keeps doing it, just keeps doing it.
Yeah. See, my gut feeling now, because of their record, would say Jamal Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to put a sneaky dark horse in there.
Yeah.
Considering how their lack of talent because of injuries and how good their record is, Taj Gibson of the Bulls.
Yeah.
He plays really well for that team. And I think he, you know, defensively, offensively, I just think he's a good player. I think Crawford's a little bit more of a sexy name. He scores a few more points. It's in LA. But I think Taj Gibson almost means more to them. Because after Boozer and Noah go down, like that's a nice 3-man rotation up front.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he takes that one. Okay, so we got 6-man. We didn't actually touch on Defensive Player of the Year.
We didn't. We skipped over, and I actually picked Hibbert at the beginning of the season. But who would you have picked at the beginning of the season?
I think actually at the starting, I think I would have agreed with you, because him coming off that season, just that block on Carmelo is just etched in our minds.
Yeah.
But if you have to say it now, it's just too bad, because if it wasn't for their tail off, I would almost want to say Lance Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I gotta go DeAndre Jordan.
Really?
I think DeAndre Jordan's just stepped up his game, his rebounding numbers, block shots, but he's just really improved. And I understand why you pick Hibbert. I think you can't allow this to happen. Like, I'm really weighing their lack of success in the win-loss column against their stars right now. The same reason why I won't put Paul George in that conversation. Paul George, when he's on, is one of the best wing defenders in the league. Mm. It's just right now he's not making it happen, and to me it's unacceptable. So
yeah, for me, my defensive guy right now is Joakim Noah. The way he's carried that team on his back.
I like that.
I'm picking him. He's got that presence on defense, you know. We talked about that. He's an intimidator, you know, and he gets it done. He's a gritty player, and he's carrying Chicago into the playoffs. They're going to be a scary team to play in the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm picking Joakim.
No, I think that's actually a fantastic pick. A little bit of a sneaky outsider pick who's really improved this year would be Andre Drummond, but I think it's more of his rebounding and block numbers as opposed to defense. So I'm going to lean your way, and I think he deserves that one. Okay, so did we touch on coach?
We made our original picks, and I went with Mark Jackson. So. You know, he's got some defecting assistants, so.
I don't know if he's going to be in that conversation.
No, I don't think so.
And who's those motas again? Trying to remember.
Oh, he picked Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers. I think. Oh yeah, that was the best pick out of all three of us, I think, because he really has turned them into quite the team. And I picked Vogel, which again, the Bynum effect screwed me over. See, if that wouldn't have happened, I would have had the 6th man of the year. I would have had the coach of the year. It hurts. And I think because of that, I'm going to lose this. But I'll definitely give that one to Moda. But if we have to say coach of the year now, I kind of have to jump on his bandwagon. Although, you know what? I won't. I'm gonna say Greg Popovich.
Okay.
Because I think while there's a lot of teams, like the coach of the Bobcats definitely should be up there, coach of the Raptors should be up there. I just think when you look at how little he's played his stars and at their destructive record, like don't tell me they weren't trying to get that #1 seed to have home court advantage in the playoffs should they play Miami again.
Yeah.
That for sure was a big deal. I think Greg Popovich, you talk about guys like Bellinelli, Patty Mills, like on other teams, those guys wouldn't be nearly as effective as they are with Greg Popovich. So I'm giving Greg the nod here.
I think Greg should win it every year, but it's like Michael Jordan winning MVP, right? Like he is the best coach in the league, but I'm gonna pick, despite the team probably not making the playoffs, I'm gonna pick Jeff Hornacek, being a rookie coach in the West, leading a Phoenix team that wasn't
That's a
expected
really good pick.
to do much.
Really good pick. Well, he's got far less talent than a lot of these other teams.
Well, he's got a lot of young new guys, a lot of guys from Indiana on his team, and they're probably going to end up with the ninth place team not make the playoffs. But what a run these guys have had! What an absolute run! And so and then being a young coach as well, that's in the West. That's a big thumbs up for me for Hornacek.
Well, no, they definitely have that, and I mean, and you have to love that they have my face sake there.
Miles.
So I mean, I can't hate on these guys, but at the same time, I think Hornacek, because I don't know, he had to deal with Eric Bledsoe for a long period of time, and there's just too much going on. But close for a team to coach of the year, to be coach of the year when you don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that hurts.
Yeah, it does hurt him. It does hurt him a lot.
So I don't know. But yeah. But okay, so we got that 6-man
we need
defensive player.
we need most improved.
All we have left is MVP. Is there anything left?
Most improved.
Most improved.
Which is hard.
Who did I call again? Oh, because we didn't have it on this. What? Because I'm trying to think who I called again for improved. Did I not call Drummond?
Yeah, I picked Jonas Valanciunas. I don't think it's on the tape, but I picked Valanciunas.
I'm trying to think if I picked Drummond or Anthony Davis, because I really feel I picked one of them.
I think you picked Drummond.
Yeah. So we'll just assume that Moda lost. You can't remember who he picked. And I think I beat you there. I think as well as Valanciunas played, Drummond's playing like an elite.
Well, Valanciunas the last month has been pretty lights out. So he had a couple.
Let's not pretend that Drummond hasn't been destructive either.
Yeah, they're both. You know what? They're both really solid young centers, and I think we're both pretty on the money there. So.
Yeah, and I think they're both going to make another leap next year.
Yeah.
Like I think this is not where the cap is. Like they're both young, as you said, and they're both poised to be in a good position. Okay, so we have that.
So I'm picking Dragic for my most improved. It's the same issue with Hornacek, not making the playoffs, but this guy with Eric Bledsoe going down, being he's 28 years old, being the veteran, quote, veteran leader on a team of really young guys, and just night in, night out going at it. I mean, there's an article Zach Lowe wrote about him going at Hibbert. He's one of the few guys he's fearless on the court. And I see so much of Steve Nash. Like very early in his career, he played for Phoenix with Steve Nash. And Steve taught him so much about just how to play the game, how to set the tone. He's got a really high basketball IQ, always probing offensively. He's not exactly the best defensive player, but he's got a willingness to take that shot in the clutch as well. He's got so many weapons at his disposal. I really like the Dragon, and I hope the Dragon wins it. But they didn't make the playoffs. They probably don't make the playoffs, so I don't know about it.
I think my most improved, I actually really almost wanted to give it to Blake.
Yeah.
I feel he's jumped up there, but I'm actually going to agree with your defensive player of the year. I think Joakim Noah, considering his scoring, his triple-doubles, his passing, I don't know, it's a tough one because I see a lot of stars who have really jumped up. Now, I probably do agree with you I think Ibaka deserves a little bit of consideration. All the Indiana Pacers went the other way.
Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry. I mean, you have to put DeRozan in that conversation.
Yeah, both of them.
I think, most of the Raptors in general. Like, I really want to call Al Jefferson, but people who haven't been following him, he's been putting up those numbers in Utah. He just happens to be on a team in the East where they can, put it into playoff success. But yeah, I'll give you the call there with Dragic, but I'm gonna put also Joakim Noah because I think he's just really rounded out his game into one of the best centers in the league, if not the best center. I mean, it's a tough call, but yeah. Okay, so the grand finale, MVP of the league. Now, at the beginning of the season, we all unanimously called LeBron James. Does your vote change?
Yeah. I picked Slim Reaper. Kevin Durant, like you said, he put up these numbers that have not been seen since the days of number 23. He was lights out, top of the game, and especially in January.
I called that 32 points, by the way.
Yeah, I know. January and February, he did what you predicted he was going to do. And not a lot of people anticipated that. And he was playing such a high level of basketball to be above the king. I did not.
He really stepped up his defensive game, like I said as well. I was looking at some ESPN rankings. They had him like on a third-team defensive player for a 3.
Yeah.
So
One thing I have to say in terms of their head-to-head competition, Kevin did this in the West. They're the number 2 seed in the West right now.
And so they have to play more Western Conference teams.
LeBron played in the East, and did not face, like you said, they didn't face the West as much. He put these stats up against the West, so that's a big factor for me.
And he put a lot of these stats up against the West when they did not have Westbrook, right?
I didn't see it coming.
Okay, so I'm going to admit to my mid-season one. If you guys didn't see it, it wasn't shown here. I got destroyed by the Bynum effect. I had Paul George. To be perfectly fair, at the mid-season point, it was a legitimate call. He was playing on that level. His team was number 1 in the East, and they had Danny Granger. But no, he definitely. If he wins it, there's no way. But that's like there's stuff in the ballot box. This year, I want to give the dark horse one still to Blake Griffin, but yeah. I think they're going to give it to Durant just because if it's close, I think it's good for the image of the NBA to have someone new, the up and coming. He's just a good guy, and it creates the competition. It goes back and forth. LeBron, KD, and I think he deserves it. I mean, you tie Jordan's record with 41 games of 25 or more, and he's just consistent. He doesn't have to explode for these huge games and a bunch of nothing games. It's so rare he'll not get you 20, And he started adding so much to his game, his defensive side of the ball, but his ball handling, he's destructively lethal. On the offensive side of the ball, no one touches him. He can stand out from 3, drain it from 30, dribble right by you, and within 2 strides, he's at the rim from the 3-point line. So basically, you're taking one of the best 3-point shooters in the game and saying, I have the handle to go right around you, and in 2 strides, I'm over you and dunking on you. This is why Durantula. I still like Durantula better. I still kind of miss that name. But I think he's going to get it. I don't know. If all things being equal, if LeBron James hadn't have won in the last couple, I think his season deserves an MVP type. Like, he has put up an MVP type season. But I think so has Durant, and I think the tides are going to turn a bit. I think Durant takes this one. So we will see going forward. So we're both agreeing on this one, but we're both agreeing not to go Paul George. Yeah,
and so one award we didn't do that we should have done in the preseason is Executive of the Year. And, my pick right now is Masai Ujiri for what he has done with this Toronto Raptors team. Getting rid of Bargnani, getting rid of Rudy Gay, and getting a bunch of complementary players and just making this team flow because of our roster. And I have to mention, because the New York Knicks are not in the playoffs, the Denver Nuggets get their lottery pick and could somehow magically end up with Andrew Wiggins. So that's all from him trading Melo from Denver to New York. It's a gift that keeps on giving. I'm giving it to you, Jury.
Except for New York, because I don't think they receive anything except for a lifetime supply of Primo pasta. But Executive of the Year, I'm actually gonna have to. I'm gonna stick to my guns and say Larry Legend. I think even though they're not playing well, the fact that he brought in that nice bench, I just think the Granger trade was the mistake. But Scola, Copeland,
Plumlee, Gerald Green, come on.
I don't care about getting rid of Gerald Green. He's an athletic guy in a system that's made for. He wouldn't have done this in Indiana. Maybe. Well, technically, if the offseason, don't we have to count Daryl Morey if he brought in Dwight Howard, though?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Who's not playing right now?
No, but and then the Bobcats GM who brought in Al Jefferson, who literally brought them from being one of the worst teams in the league.
That's true.
Playoffs.
That's sneaky good.
Bad.
Sneaky good. Yeah.
But the other guys, I don't really see any huge trades. Yeah, I'll give it to your guy, Masai. It's like the definition of addition by subtraction, right? Because theoretically, they traded their two most prominent players and are suddenly like. Have you seen their records since they've traded Rudy Gay? Like,
yeah, they're good.
Like, forget looking at their season record where they're like, I don't know, 14 games over 500 or something. Like, they're destructive. Like their record is up there with the elite teams since the Rudy Gay trade. And it's a bit chemistry. It's allowed other players to flow. Like, ever since Rudy Gay's left, like, DeMar DeRozan's just taken off, right? And then because of that, Terrence Ross has been allowed to turn into a nice complementary player to learn under his wing. Anyway, so you can go on and on, but I do believe that Masai deserves this. Like it's always tough to get better when you trade away your best players. And the last guy to do that was the same guy in Denver, actually, when he traded Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, and they brought in Gallinari, Wilson, Chandler, Mozgov, and
you can say Chris Wallace did it in Memphis when he got rid of Rudy Gay, shipped him to.
Well, it's funny though. Rudy Gay's actually playing really well in Sacramento. He's found a nice home.
Got to find a home, exactly.
And he found a home with the most unlikely of couples with Boogie Cousins. So whatever works. I mean, it's not like they're winning games, but they're fun to watch.
Okay, so well, I was going to say, do you have any shining moments from the year? Not to steal from NCAA basketball, but from the NBA, any things that really stick out to you that you'll think back on in the years to come?
Thinking back, I don't know why it's still in my head. It's just like I like toughness in the NBA, and we were talking about this last week. And like that one elbow of Vince Carter to Steven Adams, I still remember that in my head, and just how he just shrugged it off. That was a big one. I think the biggest moments, I don't know. That's still that Clipper game, like DeAndre Jordan's dunks. Or Blake Griffin's dunks. Like I'm trying to think of one moment over everything that really just flipped it. I mean, is there something that pops out in your mind right away?
I mean, I wrote down a few things, but one was Derrick Rose going down early. And it's just like, not again. This is not, knock on wood, this has not been an injury-rattled season as much as last year was. Like, last year was just debilitating. And, I mean, the Lakers are still feeling that. But Derrick Rose going down, there's been a lot of great buzzer beaters, a lot of, like, rivalries growing. One shot that I'll never forget was LeBron in Golden State, where he just nailed this three in their face at the buzzer, said, I'm still the king. I mean, just a lot of funny and interesting stuff, like talking about quotes that were really funny. It was like Marcin Gortat saying he won fighting back in the game. Yeah, hey, man, keep it real, man. If that's what you want, you know. So,
Well, he's the Polish Hammer. He's not going to have that nickname if he's a soft guy, right?
One moment that really stood out for me was not to be a homer, but Steve Nash having that throwback game against Philly. Trying to get back to where he was before, and he's been rehabbing basically for a year and a half now, and to have a game where he had, I think it was 18 and 12, and he was the best player on the court. That was really special. And so hopefully he'll be back next year. But oh yeah, by the way, have to mention Steve Nash this week is now number 3 all-time NBA assists. Number 3. The man had 1 college scholarship offer. So that guy is just amazing. So a lot of records, like we said last week. Dirk is now number 10 over the Big O. So it's been a really great year. I mean, a ton of great dunks, like you said. I really like Birdman's beard. He's got that trucker.
I like his new haircut too. I think Birdman's really turned into he's cleaned it up a bit. And Greg Oden coming back was a great story.
Oh, we have to mention that because I think I have to look at the final numbers. I think he may have about matched Bynum in terms of games played, and I predicted he would. So he's it's good to see him back in the league. I wanted to mention Damian Lillard has had some nasty dunks for a 6'2" guy.
Yeah, he's destructive, that guy. And my man Wesley Matthews on that team. Well, there's and there's also the reality for the first time since a long time, the Celtics, Knicks, and Lakers are not making the playoffs.
Yeah, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. I don't know what to say to that. I mean, that's
the Lakers throwing Kobe a 2-year $48 million or something like that. $1 million contract. I'm like, yeah, I guess you kind of have to, but you're really hoping he gets better because that's a lot of money for some used tires there.
Yeah, Kobe's agent is definitely the play of the year right there. So that's
he's the league MVP. That one, I think, Meta World Peace retiring was kind of funny, but I don't know. I'm just trying to think. This is just to me, this is the year of resurgence of big men. I've been saying this over and over again. Anthony Cousins, and we're seeing more and more guys, just take the sport seriously in the offseason. Even young guys, it seems Cousins has turned around. He no longer is this problematic guy. All these guys in better and better shape, coming back. I mean, it's this era of basketball where we have this plethora of great young talent at every position. They all try really hard, and the fashions, I know fashion here and there, but that's jumped up between your Blake Griffins, Russell Westbrooks, KDs, all these guys and their Instagrams, and social media has really taken a hold of sports in general. I mean, we're seeing
especially the NBA. The NBA has been great with social media. Big thumbs up to them. How they use Instagram, everything. They use it all. And if you want to see how well they use it, I hate to say this, compare it to the NHL because they just know how to interact with the fans in the NBA. They do a great job at it.
Yeah, no, and I'm really looking forward to the playoffs. I mean, next week we're going to cover our playoff preview. That's going to be a heavy show. But I mean,
it's also our birthday next week, by the way.
Hoopslounge.com.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a really big. We'll probably have some guests on. So I mean, it's a great time for basketball. Adam Silver, taking over the reins from Dave.
Oh yeah, that's huge news.
Kind of big news, yeah. So as well, and the big theme, I hate to say it, has been tanking, and so there's all these young players coming into the league. It really is a golden era for basketball, and you talk about Andrew Wiggins and these guys. It's just a great crop of guys.
Oh, I can't wait to cover this draft class. This draft class is loaded. I'm telling you, it's exciting. Like honestly, in this draft class, even if you're in the 9 zone, you're getting someone nice. This is going to be a good one. And as if we needed more talent in the NBA. Next year is just coming in even more. And we forget, right? Those two things actually really tie. So you just mentioned all this talent. And who are the 3 teams I just mentioned didn't make the playoffs? Lakers, Boston, Knicks. So we theoretically, if the ping pong balls drop right, could see those 3 storied franchises with top overall draft picks to return them to glory.
Yeah, I want to see it. Because, I mean, I grew up with Lakers, Boston in the 80s, and it was something special, see those top franchises, and especially the Knicks, man. Haven't had a title since '73. So I want to see the Knicks back in their glory years. So we'll see. And, of course, You know, LeBron, the big question mark, does he resign with Miami this time? There's a lot of drama in the league.
I really want to see him in Chicago. I'm gonna start this bandwagon. LeBron in Chicago.
See where Melo goes too. There's a lot of stuff. So
I think one of those two deserves to be in Chicago. One of them, and they're good. I think it should be LeBron, but it's tough to follow. But yeah, so I mean, this has been a great year for Hoops Lounge, for NBA, and everything. So we want to thank all you guys out there for watching, subscribing, and we love bringing this stuff to you guys. And thank you for all the ideas. Like a lot of our show ideas, we get off you guys. So it makes it interesting because obviously we're in our own head half the time with what we like in basketball. But you know, sometimes we'll get this idea. We're like, oh wow, that's actually really interesting. We weren't even thinking of it, and just boom, it becomes a show. So continue to send us stuff that way.
We're gonna skip the Naismith moment for this week, but I have to show you some really amazing things that I moved recently, and I found some stuff I hadn't seen in years. So these are some of my old basketball cards from back in the day. I'm gonna start with the 1960s. This is a John. Oh man, sorry about that. Let me just fix the glare. This is a John Havlicek Topps card from 1969. He was a longtime Celtics great. And then this is amazing. This is a Dr. J card from. Look how huge that is. He's drinking a Dixie cup from like 1975. And then there's a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar card in the back. And so that's from the 70s. And then here's a random. This is a Kenny the Jet Smith rookie card from about 1988. And then from the 90s, I didn't even know I had this. I met David Robinson when I was 12 years old, and this is an autographed card from him. When his rookie season in San Antonio, he came to my hometown at Tool Mall and did a signing. That's the first time I met an NBA player. So just digging up some my past glory, though. But like, it's great to see the NBA back into like I said, I think it's a renaissance for this league. You know, having all these young stars again. It's a really beautiful time for basketball. And next week, I mean, we're gonna be watching basketball nonstop because it's gonna be a grind, especially the Western Conference. It's gonna be a huge grind, and it's gonna be some really pretty amazing ball played.
Yeah, a lot to look forward to. So just before we wrap up, Mark, is there anything you're looking forward to this week to tell people?
Well, I mean, Atlanta's going to be, in the play. I don't think I don't salute mediocrity. They're the 7th straight year they're going to be in the playoffs.
They're in such trouble though. Like they're. Yeah.
I really want to see where the Raptors end up. So it's a really, they may end up with the 4th seed playing Brooklyn. So we'll be looking out for that. Of course, the whole Dallas, Phoenix, Memphis, the trilogy, those 3 teams fighting for those last 2 spots in the West. That's something special to look out for. We're going to have all kinds of stuff during the playoffs. I'm going to have a piece with Kelly Olynyk because I actually interviewed him. I forgot to mention that. And I'm going to have a piece coming up as well on Ricky Rubio. Spotlight. I know Minnesota did not make the playoffs, but Ricky has been coming along this year, and so I have an interview with him as well. I want to put up my Justin Jackson piece / JYD piece with interviews as well. It should be coming. So we're going to be putting those out over the course of the playoffs. All kinds of other great stuff too. Moda will be back, of course. He's over in Switzerland. He's going to be in Paris for a big event too coming up.
So we got traveler right now.
He's a globetrotter, man. He's a globetrotter, real deal. And so we're gonna have all kinds of great stuff for you during the NBA playoffs. And as Phil alluded to before, then we'll have the ping pong balls dropping and seeing where all the guys end up. A lot of Canadian guys in the draft this year. So just check us out on hoopslounge.com and on our Facebook page, facebook.com, Hoops Lounge. All kinds of interactive stuff. Interact with us. Talk to us on Twitter. Our Twitter handles Montreal Mark and Sporting Phil and Moda Elb. Talk to us and at Hoops Lounge. We like to interact with the fans, keep the conversation going. Our tagline says, where basketball is the official language, ECO and Paul basketball. We're all about the game. So, just talk to us. We're here for you 24/7.
Yeah, no, very excited about what we're bringing your way, and as always, Off the Wire has been a lot of updates with that, so we're bringing more what you guys want, and we're having some nice changes, secret for our videos going forward. We're going to bring some formats which I think you're really going to enjoy, some quick fixes, and we're going to have some little additions for our podcast. So don't forget, guys, if you do want to download any of our podcasts, you can go to Blog Talk. /Hoops Lounge. And as always, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's YouTube/The Hoops Lounge. And you can get all the feeds of all our videos sent right there. And as always, hoopslounge.com has it all. So we want to thank you for watching another show. This has been our season recap. I've been obviously looking back on what we predicted and what we say right now. So for myself and Mr. Mark, we want to say thanks a lot, and we'll catch you next time in the lounge.
See ya.